So, hey, so welcome to a discussion with Dr. Theresa Martin, R. Martin, Esquire. And so, Dr. Martin, as we talk about, pivoting, you know, we kind of came through with five things as this pandemic hit, and she's actually in New York City, NYC, that literally is the epicenter for the world. I mean, because
in the hub.
I often tell people, I feel I have to go to New York. I don't go a lot, but I have to go at least every 3 to 4 years because it's just a vibe about New York City that's just like no other. So I say that. But when we talk about pivoting, five things. Pause. So any situation you come to, it may not quite be a pandemic, but a tough situation, you have to pause and then you pray. There's two parts to that equation. Pivoting itself, because that's only about one moment. Then you got to put the plan in place, and then it's time to do the work. So you grab the playbook and go out and pursue and persist. So when we talk about that, just talk about what happened. Where were you at when all of this came about? 4 months ago, 3 months ago, whenever you really like, okay, something's going on here.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I always do, Howard, is, from the legal side, because, that legal hat, I am an attorney. So my job and my focus is to help businesses pivot anyway, whether it's in their finances, profitability, revenue, lead strategies, whatever that case may be, I was always there. So I was in the midst of helping my clients come online, right? Because my thing is my biggest clients are the service providers, right? So there's a whole lot of people out there who talk about products, and it's very easy or easier to sell a product than it is a service. So we were in the process of now helping my clients duplicate themselves by creating an online business model and making that another vertical. So it's funny that happened. And I always told my story that right now in the midst of March, right? This just seems so, I guess, clairvoyant for me, because every time something happens, I'm always in another position to pivot. So when we talk about 9/11 in 2001, out of that crisis, I formed my law practice. I went solo practice, right? From a law firm to solo practice. And then in the meltdown or the economic recession in 2008, I formed my Real Estate Investor Association, right? And now in the midst of COVID, I am now pivoting yet again to now be more of a legal strategist and business strategist, helping my clients pivot through this pandemic. So that's where I was when this whole thing happened.
But, it was something, I draw a parallel there. 3 times, it seemed like it was the worst time to do something new because 9/11, financial crisis, pandemic. Talk about pivoting during the tough time versus just normal situations.
Oh, okay. So I love the way you mentioned it as far as, the pause first, right? Because every time something hits, it's like, oh my goodness, what's happened? What's going on? And we start panicking, right? So now, when we're thinking about pivoting, first you had to come up with that pause first, because we have to take a step back. What's going on? What's happening? Right? So this is our ability now to think a little bit differently, be a little bit more serious and be a little bit more creative. So in some instances, this is a wake up call. I call it shift happens, right? So this
shift happens. Man. That
shift
sounds
happens,
like a t-shirt.
right?
Shift happens.
Exactly. So if we're talking about the pivot, that's what we're talking about. We're shifting, right? It's a time of self and business reflection. And we really have to now be honest with ourselves. Were we doing the things we were supposed to be doing before this whole thing started? Where were things headed at that point? Were we doing everything we should as a business to scale and grow? Were we being as creative to find clients or to get another job or get that promotion, right? So I would say in life, just like you mentioned, as far as the P for pause, P for pray, and then, the P for pivot, all those things are coming into the order of everyday life. because this has caused a lot of people, especially, you know, in my household. I'm a grandmother. I know I don't look like it, right? So prune juice and push-ups are working, right? But, you know, my daughter, you know, so now the kids were home. So she had no intention on homeschooling. Right? So she had to pause. But what she realized is that gave her some time, because she was always on her grind and always in her hustle working. It gave her time to have more collective home time with her children and get things in order in the household. So sometimes in the midst of our crisis, you know, comes our compassion, and then comes our pivot moment. And I believe for a lot of people in life, this was our pivot moment.
No, you said that, and I heard it said, that homeschooling help a lot of parents say, hey, I got to pour more in my parents. So coming out of it is going to be different. And, you know, it doesn't, it shouldn't have to take a crisis for us to get there. And so, but oftentimes it does, because you're able just to run through the normal situations that you're able to run through. You mentioned something about asking yourself in businesses, self-reflecting, in particular business owners self-reflecting on both business and self. I often say is that your business can never outgrow you, so you better grow yourself. And so talk about some steps you help those service entities in particular, because see, at the Pivot Conference, we challenge every speaker to come with a way to help business pivot online, because we know that has to be part of your mix going forward. So talk about some steps and strategies, one or two steps that you shared with your clients to help them move to pivoting online.
Absolutely. For me, my wheelhouse, if you will, from the legal structure, to make sure that one, that we're setting everything up with the foundation to be, you know, correct online, right? So even when we are now, let's take a restaurant or a daycare. Let's take a daycare, for instance. The problem with the daycares is that parents drop their children off, and now the parents go to work, and now the daycare are with the children in person. How would a daycare actually now pivot online? What type of things can a daycare offer parents, okay, when we're working at home? Same thing like the schools have decided to do. We need to have those daycares have an online portal where children are doing the reading and doing the things that you would normally do, but we actually have it in an online structure where you're still engaging the children, you're still doing the, you know, tummy talks and the things that you need to do while the parents are off in another room doing whatever it is that they need to do to get their business going. So every business can have some type of division that is online. And so that's one of the strategies that I tell people is, let's kind of see what can we do to take our business online. Even if it's not your entire business, you need to have some subset of your business to do that. Then I'm going to be talking about intellectual property, because one of the things that a lot of people are not talking about is how do you protect your intellectual property online? Right? Because now you're coming online, now people are being exposed to the things that you do, your formulas, your techniques and things of that sort, where they may not have been privy to all of that before. Now you're exposed. And remember, copyright, trademark, trade secrets, all those things are intellectual property. And these are assets that in my company called Generational Wealthstone, we tell you that this is a way that you can pass generational wealth through your intellectual property. So we have to protect that even as we transition to an online business, even more so. So that's one of the things that I'm definitely going to be talking about in my talk. How do we wake up? And how do we pivot and shift online and then still be in position to build a foundation to create generational wealth through our online business model?
You know, oftentimes, I love the way you think, and guys, you got my head thinking here, or spinning, because, and as you talked about that daycare. And so traditionally a daycare was a brick and mortar, you had to drop the kids off. But the thing I challenge my clients, and it sounds like you've done the same, is, so let's look at our assets. Let's don't look at it from a deficit standpoint. So you have an asset of being able to take this young child and spend time with them, but even deeper, how do you train a staff to have the temperament to manage that for 8 to 10 hours a day? And so that is an asset that you can somehow possibly package. So if you would share a struggle or two, and it doesn't have to be the daycare, but clients have making that shift from brick and mortar, hands-on service to a virtual world.
I'll give you a prime example in all business. It doesn't even have to be a transition into, the online world. Let's just take something as simple, Howard, as just your simple SOPs. Let's just take that. So business today are
guys, you listening? SOP. She's not cussing you out. It's not one of those words. It's standard operating procedures. Stuff that we hate to do as idea people. We hate to stop and write the SOPs. Okay, so I just wanted you to know what that was.
And that's it. I was gonna go in. And so that's one of the things that we don't like to do. And I'm an idea person as well. So I'm a hybrid, right? But my whole focus is when I build businesses, I build from a corporate build. A corporate build is different from a lifestyle business, right? So the first thing we have to address is, are you in business to grow a lifestyle business, or are you in business to grow a corporate build, right? And the difference between the two is I don't need to make a multi-million dollars because I'm doing this business to fund my lifestyle. I want to travel when I want to travel. I want to do the things when I do them. I want to go to the grocery store, and when I hit swipe, it goes and clears, right? That's lifestyle, okay? And then the corporate build is I'm building businesses to sell. I'm building it as an asset. I'm building it to sell, expand, franchise, whatever you have it, right? So let's just start from that standpoint. When I'm sitting down with them, asking them, what is the purpose of your business? How are you building this? Then we go back and say, okay, social media strategy. What's your social media strategy? How do you do that? And then they'll go and they're fumbling, somebody else handles that or whatever. So if you cannot do something or make money and you not be there, you don't have a business. I don't care if you have a brick and mortar. I don't care. You
got a job. You own a job.
You got a job. You got a job. So I don't care what it is that you've been doing it for 15 years. That's so great. But if you can't leave for 30 days and still make money in your business, that is showing you and demonstrating that you do not have a business. Not only, Howard, do they not have a business, they can't even sell it because it's not valued at anything. Because you cannot go to a business broker and say, I want to get out of my business, I want to sell it, whatever. So once they start asking you about these valuations and your asset values and your profit and loss statements and, all your revenue streams, when you get stumped there, the one question they're going to ask you is, can your business survive without you? And if the answer is no, then you have no business that's valued at anything, and you might as well just sell off your assets and move on to the next. So that's how I would tell people what they need to focus on to pivot.
No, you hit the nail on the head. One of my mentors, he has a carpet cleaning business. I have no problem saying who he is, and because I admire him a lot. And he said, when I got that together, what you're talking about, the SOPs and the procedures, he said, I would leave and the business would do better than if I was not there. So my team would tell me to stay gone. I mean, they literally would tell me to stay gone because they were doing better without me. And he went out and built another business. And so, you hit the nail on the head, because why would I buy a job? And effectively, that's what it would be if you were selling it. What is another thing you mentioned, that building from a lifestyle, not from a lifestyle standpoint, but a corporate standpoint? Did I lose you there?
Yeah. So
what is building from a?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. The bandwidth got a little low, so a lot of people in New York are actually on Zoom right now.
Okay. So a lot of things that you want to focus on. Well, one main thing that you want to focus on when you're going after a corporate bill is, one, we mentioned the SOPs. That's first and foremost. You really have to build that. You also have to create systems within your business. So for instance, when you're online, how many systems are you using as an online business? You know, some people use Infusionsoft and Entreport and Zoho and MailChimp and ActiveCamp. All these things, you know, are all over the place. So when you're looking to sell your business, you need to make sure that you have everything in a systematic way, because when they ask you for inventory, when they ask you for reports, when they ask you for things, they're buying your entire system. So I tell people to focus on your SOPs and focus on your systems. How are you strategically going to do something, and document that thing so that the system can be automated? And when I say automated, I'm not saying totally without you. I mean, there's some in a service-based business like consulting, I can't just go online and put something up and think somebody's going to pay me high dollar fee and without speaking to me. I can't eliminate myself, because right now I'm still the product. Now my knowledge base is what I'm selling, but there are items that I can sell for those people who can't or are not in a position to now, you know, have all of me. Maybe the Theresa experience a little bit too much for them right now, right? I mean, too much because of my personality, you know. So I might be a little bit much for some people. So they want to kind of date me before they marry me, right? So the dating phase can be when they're online, and that might be a part of my Wealth Academy, where, you know, you have the best of me, but at a fraction of the cost. So I say all that to say, systematically putting a business together with your systems, your SOPs, making sure that, you know, your payment structures are the way they need to, it needs to be. Because remember, you can still get business credit on your receivables, but if you don't have a systematic way to collect your receivables, that's not valued either. So those are some of the things I would tell you, Howard, is really systems and procedures. Those are my biggest things, and that's what I really want to hit home on Saturday. I really want to hit home whether you are offline business coming online or you're online business looking to expand more online. These are some things that you just can't miss. You can't miss these things.
You know, one of the things I heard you say about systems and receive, I wrote it down, is, hey, do, document, deliver. Do, document, deliver. So that sounds like a good rinse and repeat. Those three
Absolutely.
D's of, you know, so you literally want to do that. So, you know, as we get ready to wrap up here today, this, you know, the purpose of this Pivot Conference, what made you decide to accept the call to the Pivot Conference? Because other than Greg twisting your arm, you know, what about the vision?
He really didn't have to. He didn't have to shift. He didn't have to twist too hard. The whole concept right now, I mean, we're hearing all these buzzwords, pivot, and we're hearing, you know, shift, and we're hearing new normal. Right? We're hearing all these buzzwords, but what does it actually mean, right? So the whole thing that I want people to know, and why I answered the call to participate, and I be 100% participate. I'm going to be in all the breakouts and all the networking and everything that I can participate in, because we have such a great lineup, you know, there. And I want to learn everything that I can at the conference. But the reason I did is because now is everyone's opportunity to do things right and to get out of their own way. And now is the time to learn creative ways to continually get clients, right? And what I want people to gain after they leave the conference is that they will be able to grow their business and earn a living and build a corporate build or a lifestyle brand, you know, without leaving the house, without spending a ton of money, without spending time on complicated strategies, and learning how to utilize the tech stuff. Utilize the online world that we probably, because I'm a technophobe, right? If I can do it, anyone can do it. So that's what I want to learn at the Pivot Conference, and that's what I'm willing to give, is to show people that if I can do it when I'm a total technophobe, scared of technology, don't know how to do anything, if I can do it, everyone can do it. And I will level what I'm currently doing so that I can take the tools back to help more people and serve more people.
You know, you said something there is one, utilize the tools, but you don't have to do the work. You just need
Correct.
to understand how the tools work. And see, that's something, you know, as we're in this pandemic, the doctors utilize certain equipment, but they may not know how to operate it. They understand it. And that's how we have to be as business owners. We have to understand all the tools and put them in those SOPs. You know, as we talk about the Pivot Conference, you mentioned something, all the speakers and trainers. And when I look at yourself, Lethea Owens, Dr. Cheryl Woods, and Jonathan Sprinkles. I mean, that's just the keynoters. That's the folks that's going to get you excited and teach you at a higher level, but then pour in one or two good points there for you to walk away with, and then you work into a workshop. So then you choose, okay, what lane do I want to go down? Do I need to focus on sales? And we've strategically, and you may have noticed this on the schedule, each session has one of the five tracks. So if a person say, hey, I need to focus on sales, let me go hear from 4 different people that are going to be helping me with sales in some way. Or if I need to focus on the technology, I got 4 different times I can go in, or social media. So that's the thing I love about the platform. You were on Monday when we did the walkthrough behind the scenes for the,
Yes.
my gosh, days are going together. What were your thoughts about the platform, Ms. Technopole?
The platform was, first of all, it's very easy. When I say easy, I mean easy to follow. And it really feels as though this is a conference just online. I mean, from the reception when you walk in, and just, going into the sessions and the breakouts and, the networking session, which you're going to love when you attend. It was really simple. Even my camera, what wasn't working so well, and I was able to, navigate through that. So it was really fun. I think, for you to come to the Pivot Conference and just really experience, not only just the possibilities of how you can now do business a new way, a part of your new normal, but also just the lineup of who you're going to meet and the networking that you're going to receive. It's just going to be so much fun. I'm excited. I'm totally excited. What a way to spend my Saturday.
There was a feature we didn't teach. It's actually a new feature since Monday that was on there. It was super cool. You can actually do private meetings inside the conference. So you could go to someone and actually hit their name and invite them to a private video conference and stay in the conference. And so literally, hey, you connect with someone. So keep that in mind as you, connect and talk to people. You can say, okay, hey, let's continue this conversation over here in a private chat. And so it allows you to do that just like a real conference, because you would meet someone in the hallway and you'll say, hey, at 6 o'clock, let's come back downstairs and have dinner together. Let's go sit at the bar or sit over here in the hotel lobby and, just chop it up and see if, we can take another step together. And that is.
And I think one of the things I want to say it too, Howard, just before we go, I just want to encourage everyone, with the schedule that the team has put together for you guys, with the colors and the things that you guys are going to be seeing, really focus on your needs. You kind of want to hit different categories because leads are very important, right? How you go out and market to get leads and things of that sort, because without leads, you can't get sales, you can't convert. So you kind of got to be strategic on how you navigate, through the conference. And you have so many great speakers that can teach you in different, in different areas. So you really want to be strategic and you want to hit them all, but you definitely want to make sure that you draw out your plan so that you know how you want to pivot throughout the conference. I just wanted to say that, Howard.
Well, that leads to another point. You can bring your posse with you, and your posse can really hit on another part while you're on another part, or you can go ahead and upgrade as a VIP, and about 72 hours after we trim it down, you'll get the videos of all the sessions. And so that is, gosh, that's well worth it right there by itself. And so the way you get Pivot Conference, simply go to the pivotconference.com. It's also in the feed below you, the pivotconference.com, and just click and go there. Now, I'm going to be monitoring this feed the rest of the day, Theresa. So if anyone shares their pivot idea or their pivot story, they'll get a chance to win a pair of tickets to the conference. So
awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's what this is about. We want you to begin to think about, hey, how am I pivoting? First, why am I pivoting? 2, how am I pivoting? And then who's going to help me to pivot? And that is it. So Theresa, as we close, if you would, any last thoughts or comments you would like to make in challenging people to move forward and build and design that corporate build versus that personality build?
I think that you should open your mind and think about how you can grow and or scale your business to create a thriving virtual business. So if you're a consultant or a coach or a service provider, how can you now service more people? And remember, if your structure is set up right, you're not confined into just New York or Texas or wherever you may be. You're now a global business because you can serve more people. So just think about how many people you can serve if your anointing is for business, which I believe my anointing is for business. So whatever your call is and how you serve and show up for your clients and customers, just think about adding a thriving online virtual presence to that. And we can definitely talk about how that actually helps you and how you can grow generational wealth doing that. So that would be my little tip and trick for them.
Hey, I'm going to kind of wrap that up a little bit and say, hey, Theresa's going to be coming with you to help you implement that, because she's going to give you some next steps. So you didn't even get the appetizer. You just got that tray to pass around one time with that little hors d'oeuvre on it. So you got the hors d'oeuvres here in this session. So come on over to the Pivot Conference to get the rest of the meal as, Theresa shares with us. Theresa, forgot, I will be remiss. How can people connect with you directly? Because that's something that's very important to me. Somebody heard and say, I love what that lady is sharing. I need her now. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Pivot Conference, but I need her now. And they want to reach out to you.
Absolutely. Tell them to go to enjoyyourlegacy.com and hit me up on Facebook. I love all my Facebook friends. So hit me up on Facebook, Theresa R. Martin, or go to Enjoy Your Legacy. And that is the Enjoy Your Legacy page where I be sharing all of my love on you and I be loving on you. So definitely hit me up on Facebook. I really want to connect with everyone. I am for the women in business. I don't leave the men out, but my passion is helping, serving, growing women entrepreneurs. So please hit me up and friend me on Facebook.
And that's Theresa R. Martin on Facebook, and Enjoy Your Legacy, where she's going to love on you like a grandma, because she doesn't look like it, but she is one. And so as we close out, one of the things I said, I heard her say, and this spoke to me, is structure right, scale up, and service more. So if you do that, structure right, service up, and sell more, guess what? It's going to happen. And so with that, Theresa, I thank you for taking some time out of your day to come and share about the Pivot Conference, and look forward to just hanging out around you and with you at the Pivot Conference as we physically distance, but we socially connect at the Pivot Conference. So, that's how I like to say it, because technically you're physically, you're still staying socially connected. I've met more people probably during this season than I would have if I'd have been going out to local networking events. And build some great relationships. So with that said, hey, I challenge you to go over to pivotconference.com, sign up, bring a friend, go ahead and create your whole Pivot Posse. That's it, #Pivot Posse. And we're going to have some treats for people who bring a Pivot Posse with them. And as always, in closing, I challenge you to be the best you possible, because guess what? Second place never changes. And if you try to be anybody else, you can only be second best. Hey, take care, God bless, and we shall see you at the Pivot Conference. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot, Theresa.
Thank you.
All right, we're off live. Anything you need for the conference? Well, let me first share next steps. So we'll be sending who your concierge or your moderator will be, your contact for the conference. And one of the things we came up with last night, the moderator will have their speakers and trainers direct contact information, just so if there's a technical glitch, you guys can pick up a phone and actually get right to each other versus trying to go through emailing and other things the day of the conference. For you being the keynote, I will bring you on stage, and I'll be in the room with you the whole time off stage, so backstage. And then about 30 minutes of presentation, when you open it up for Q&A, I'll come back on to help moderate if you want to bring somebody on stage for live Q&A.
Okay.
And then after that, for your offer, you make your offer on stage, but we also set aside what we call the Keynote Lounge for those that want to enjoy their legacy. So you would leave immediately after, hit sessions, and go over to the Keynote Lounge, and there'll be a moderator in there to help facilitate. And I will stress that this is not another Q&A session. This is for those individuals that, hey, I believe this is the person that's going to help me and be part of my pivot posse. So I need to go over and have a conversation deeper with her.
Okay.
So that is some things that we kind of put in place since Monday as a way to.
I'm excited. I'm glad that I'm the last one. So I'm the last keynote. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy because I want to see everybody. So I told my husband, I said, please don't make it first. Please don't make it first. Please don't make it first. And so when I saw it, I said, I'm last. I'm so excited. I get to experience the whole conference. I am so excited. So I know you didn't know that. I don't know if Greg told that, but I am so excited. Why. So
I actually, Edeline and I put the schedule together. So she was like, Howard, why are you putting Theresa last? I said, her story is about legacy. And so legacy is what goes beyond the end, okay? Beyond the end. So I hadn't even talked to her about this, but she probably can tie that in real well. And
I was so excited because the conference just looks so, I've been telling my friends about it. I was like, look, even if you just want to, just how you can actually do an online conference. The team can actually talk to you about, maybe if you like this conference, they can, you know what I mean? So I've been talking to my speaker friends, the people who do workshops. I've been telling them, get on the conference. So pay a little money, do what you need to do because this is like incredible. So I've been telling them, I don't know if they done signed up. I don't know how many people using my link, but I know my team been promoting. I don't know what's going on. But I think it's going to be great. I really am excited about the conference. I told my husband, because I told him, you got to really, see what this is, because he visualized how it's going to be like a live conference, because, he working. So got to get my insurance. So he can't stop working. He got to pay for my insurance. So he got to work. So
you got to support your habits, or at least support that part of, not all you have, is just that part, so you can really enjoy the habits. But no, that is, you hit it on the head. That's kind of how Greg and I came together. We were saying, hey, what if we help people do this? And I said, Greg, well, we need to do our own event. And first it was going to be a summit. And then Greg mentioned hop in, and I was like, okay, it's going to be a conference, one day, everybody. And so, yeah, we are actually already talking to entities about helping them flip their conferences online.
Right.
Come out of that, and as recent as yesterday, I just got not really a proposal, but what they were looking for is really almost creating a virtual speakers bureau, because this conference said, hey, we need, we got to get a keynote speaker and we need 2 other session leaders. And I'm like, okay, So all these people are meeting, I can give them 4 or 5 keynoters real quick, and versus them going to a bureau. And so those are things that are, just being ancillary things that are growing out of this whole process. So
it's just like things just happen, because right now I really believe, and I think I told you this when we had the call, I really think that this was truly a test for businesses and states and governments to see how we can proceed online. And when we come out of this, I think when people see, when you come out of this, it's not going to be what you left, because people have now shifted, and that's when you're going to see, oh, we can do this online, so we don't need you. Oh, we can do this, so we don't need all these people. Oh, we don't have to rent that space. Oh, we don't have, it's going to be a whole new ballgame.
You come to work 3 days a week. You use the same workspace. We'll sanitize it if that need to be. And it's gonna, as I was telling, he's an attorney out of Miami. He was talking about the new norm, and I was like, well, I call it the now norm. And then you're gonna have a next norm, and then you're gonna have a new norm. And you don't know how long each one, but that now norm is changing every day and every hour.
Right.
That next
Yep.
norm immediately after this, as we break open, what does that look like? Just down to going to the grocery store and other products and services. And then somewhere after you get a vaccine, it'll be a new norm way down the road somewhere. So, but nah, so we're excited. You'll be getting several emails from us. Want to be basic information. Greg is systematize it so we can easily set up your booth.
Okay.
And
I don't have, and that's just the lounge thing, because I don't have no commercial or anything like that that I created or anything like that for the vendor stuff or anything like that. I don't have any of that.
Right. So the lounge is it'll be a location that
I'm going to be myself. I'm going to just be here.
Right. It'll
Perfect.
be just like
Okay.
it'll be just like a session.
Got it.
We'll be in there hanging out, having a conversation with people. And
Got it.
you have a team member you want to bring in there. So if they go ahead and register your team member, so if they need to have a private conversation with that person, they can.
Okay.
Or if they want to do a phone call, say, hey, well, let's give you a call offline so we can really dive deeper. Or, you're the in person, so you can even say, hey, the conference is about to end, so let's go ahead and we can have a phone chat if we need to, if someone's really on the fence. And so that is why we set that lounge up that way.
I love it. Perfect. Okay.
All righty.
All right. Thank you so much. I loved it. And as soon as I'm going to share it with as soon as I get on Facebook, I'm going to share the live feed so people can see what we're doing and what it's about.
All righty. Thanks a lot, Theresa.
Thank you so much, Howard. Have a good one.
Tell the cellmate I said hello.
I will. Bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.